Hello, mi gente. Yo soy Calacote, and I'm here hanging out with my girl, Gigi Rivera.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Gigi Rivera, and we are here with my, maybe my long lost primo. He's Dominican. We're gonna get into all of that. Estamos aquí con Calacote. Hey, how are you?
Hey, no, doing good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate
Yes.
being able to, use your platform.
So I was gonna say Happy New Year, but I don't know. Are we too deep into January
I
to
guess
still be
it's
saying
crazy.
that?
What is today? The 20th or something? Yeah, today's the 20th. That's crazy. That's
Is it too
ridiculous.
late to still be
I
telling people
remember
Happy New
I went
Year?
to okay, this year and last year were some of the only years recently that I've like gone to a New Year's party or something,
Mm-hmm.
because when I was in like college and stuff, we like would, we were on break. So like we weren't, my friends weren't together to like celebrate.
Right.
Um, but last year I like went to a New Year's party. So I would think of through as the year passed, I would think of like where I was on January 1st and to feel like how long I felt
Mm-hmm.
that had happened. So this year it's the same way. Like I was at a party on January 1st and it does not feel like 20 days ago
I
at
know.
all.
I know. It's crazy the way time flies. But either way, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I
Happy
appreciate it.
2022. So
Thank you
let's
very
get into it. You're a Latin artist. You stick a lot with dembow. You got that like Latin
much.
swag. And your name is Calacote. So when I first saw that, I'm like, Calacote, Calaqui, que si yo
Uh,
cuánto. But then I'm like, it has to be Calacote. If not, me and you gonna have a private a
yeah.
private chat after this interview. So when
No,
you first decided on your name, on your artist name, were you a little hesitant? Like, damn, people might not be able to pronounce
no,
this.
I was so I for context, like I always my like escape throughout my
Mm-hmm.
childhood, literally from like everything was música urbana. Like I was listening to and in El Barrio, like in the DR, like there was like at the time there was like El Mayor, El Super Nuevo, Atón es otro way,
Mm-hmm.
eh, El Alfa, like El Alfa Mayor were like in their tiraera and shit, like.
Yeah.
But when I was here, I would listen to Calle 13 and Arcángel and like De La Ghetto, Jody Randy, Sound Lennox, like, and
Yeah.
I just idolized it so much. You know what I mean? It was like this is what I want to do. So the first step, logically, right, if you're gonna be a rapper, is
Picking
like
your
just
name.
rapping. So in French, it comes from there's a French like phrase, abanaco. It's like tener la grasa, tener piquete, ser cool, ser popular.
Mm-hmm.
Y me lo puse Calacote con acento español para que suene chulo. But that's the, I like, I, when it came to me, and again, I like, at first it was like, this is just a stupid thing. I'm like picking a rap name. Like nobody picks a rap name.
Yeah.
But no, it just, I like the way it sounded. I think it sounded natural. And I think it being as weird as it is, but also not being void of meaning was so representative of me as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
No, but it's different, and different is good. So
yeah,
I
no,
like it. I don't mind it.
yeah,
um, I know you're Dominican. You were born here though in North Carolina and in the
yeah.
States in America. So did you grow up in DR? Did you spend your summers there?
I spent summers in the DR. Yeah, so I grew up mainly between here and there. Here, as in the U.S., and there.
Mm-hmm.
We moved around a lot in the U.S. So I lived in a lot of different places. So the DR was a place that was very constant for me. And I lived in France for a little bit. I was baptized in France. I lived in France for like a school year. So I had this like French connection.
Right.
But as I've been doing like the interview rounds, like it's like I was in like a very at one point in my early life, like a very, very, very Dominican environment, and then also like
Yeah.
very, very American environments. Um, with like a tad bit of like French seasoning. So like this song for me, like just incorporating a little bit of French, like and doing it playfully represents that where it's like, I say this like funny line in French and like integrate French into a song that has so much Dominican essence into it. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so Santiago was, I mean, I'm like vestido de aguilucho right now.
I know. I saw.
Yeah.
So at what age do you recognize that you can sing, you can write? At what point do you really?
It wasn't until again, this was like, I would say like 13, 12, 13 was when I was like, started to become like obsessed with the genre.
Mhm.
But when I was 17, I started to make music for the first. I'm 22 now. I started to make music for the first time, but it was not. I was not making it seriously. You know what I mean? It was like,
Yeah.
honestly, a lot of it was like borderline like parody stuff. Like it was similar to like, I don't know if you saw how like Eladio started out. Eladio Carrion
Mhm.
started out
I
doing the
love
same shit. Like,
him.
it was just like, oh, this is like funny. This is like
Yeah.
whatever. And I mean, a lot of his story I identify with. You know what I mean? I'm very excited to meet him one day, but separate. Anyway,
Awesome.
I in 2019 put out music for the first time, and put it on Spotify and put it on YouTube and everything. And I think that was it was putting it out and putting out a song that was not a joke, and then people reacting to it positively as like, oh wow, you like can really do this.
Mhm.
That gave me the motivation to uh, to like tackle it as much as I could.
Yeah, and actually take it serious. Now I know
Yeah,
you were in college, right?
I was. Yeah,
You were in college, you dropped out to pursue your career. Now
yeah.
Dominican parents are super strict. So how did they react to it?
I mean, if you only knew how, because I graduated undergrad, right? And so I was in grad school, and I was like, setting myself up to just be the most normal person ever, right? Have
Right.
like a normal job and like certainly not be like a dembocero. And,
Mm-hmm.
I tried to do it as responsibly as possible. Because of COVID, I was able to be in grad school online. So I
Yeah.
moved to Miami and was like taking classes,
Mm-hmm.
um, and just like hustling here. But when I made that step, like when I decided to not re-enroll and instead to like sign my first record deal, which was last January, it was tough. And I had so much self-doubt about it,
Right.
as anybody would, right? Because it's like, man, I really have like put myself in this position, so I better succeed, or at least succeed for the time being. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, with a lot of work and a lot of luck, I've been able to uh, uh, I've been able to survive. Uh,
Right.
and now things are going great, and I just signed this deal with Universal, and we're at the third single, and like, but yeah, it was tough.
What was that conversation like with yourself as far as, damn, do I stop doing what I'm doing? That, when you're in college, you're supposed to find a regular job and, work and 401k. It's like, do I stop doing that? That can give me some sort of security, or do I take this risk with the music career where there's millions of people trying to get in the music
Yeah,
career, in the music industry? So what was that conversation like with
I
yourself?
think my like when I COVID helped a lot. The fact that I wasn't in person, and the fact that for the program that I was in, I wasn't going to be in person until I graduated again, that was like enough. Like, okay, if I'm gonna like if everything fails, this doesn't work out, I'll go back to school in the future, and I'll be able to be in person. And then COVID kind of gives you the blanket excuse of like, oh,
Yeah.
I missed out, but it was during COVID. You know what I mean? It wasn't during a normal
Right.
time. But it was like an itch that I had to scratch. You know what I mean? If I didn't fully dive in, especially after, so I had released a song in 2020, kind of early on in 2020, that hit within within like la escena local, but like la escena local o popi, like a
Mhm.
super niche like Santo Domingo scene. The song had
Yeah.
hit it, and that kind of at least gave me the credibility that I needed for myself to be like, oh, I can pursue this. That's why I moved to Miami in the first place. Was
That's
on the
funny. I
back.
was gonna ask, like, why did you settle on Miami
Yeah,
out of all
I mean, you have to be in Miami to do this. This is where everything is headquartered. But again, very fortunately, obviously, I was like born in America. Like I could just get in my car and
Mhm.
move to Miami, and even with like no money and like leaving my car, it's like I have the opportunity that so many people don't have. Um,
Right.
so yeah, it was so hard.
It's
It was
tough.
so
I'm
hard
I'm sure it was.
dropping out, and then you know dropping out, not making any money for so long. And I had a friend, one of my best friends from school, just like one of my best friends from like life, was like living with me in Miami, and it was just hard. There's so much. It's really putting your faith in something that has a 1% success rate, and looking that in the face is not easy. But I'm so glad that I did it. And right now, again, things are great. And like, little by little, I'm growing and things are popping. But it was a very, very hard, it was a very hard year. There was like a year that was like exceptionally difficult. But now, again, all of that's over, which is
it was all worth
weird
it.
to process. Like, it's like, okay, even if everything fails now, it's like things worked out.
Do you think you would advise like other artists, younger artists that are in that same position to kind of take that leap of faith?
It's so case by case, you know what I mean? I think if you have the talent, and I mean, if you're relatively discerning, like, you'll know if you have the talent, you know what I mean, based off of the reception that you get. You can tell what's sincere and what's not. You know what I mean? And it's the same case with me. I had early stuff that, looking back at it, was trash, but that people were like, I sincerely like, oh, this like has potential. You know what I mean? And so I think if you can sense that you have this talent and you have this sincere feedback and you love it, because you gotta love music. Let me tell you, to do this, like, you have got to be so in love with like your genre and the industry and
the people,
such that while you're going through that beginning turbulence, what gets you through is like, man, I love this music. Like, and that's for me, like, el género, like all of the género, like dembow, reggaeton, like perreo, everything. It was so fundamental in shaping me as a person that it kept me going, honestly. Like obviously I was working with amazing people. Maffio's incredible. Maffio, not just a great producer, but a great mentor, and he had a great team around him. But it's sometimes it can be just as it was for Maffio and as it is for anybody. It's you feel very lonely and very out of control. You know what I mean? Because you're like, I put everything out there. I hope this works out.
Yeah.
And obviously, your family and your friends are like, at a certain point, like, what are you doing? Like, not, no music's out. You're not making any money. Like, so you just gotta find.
I really get that.
Yeah, it's worth it for anybody that
is willing to put in the work and the sacrifices.
But it's so there's so much not rule for it, because you really never know. Like, and even you could put out a song independently, right? And it could be an Old Town Road and do something that you're totally not expecting, and then put you in a place that, and that's without going through the label route first, So there's no telling.
I totally get that. Let's actually talk about your relationship with Maffio. I read that you DM'd him, which is crazy because I am the queen of like DMing people too. Like, I love just shooting my shot when it comes to social media specifically, because it's a tool that we all just got to take advantage of. So you DM'd him, he answers. What did you say in your DM, and what did he respond to you?
I DM'd him, and I mean, again, you know how it is. It's like when you're a independent artist hustling with like 2,000 followers and you're in Miami, you're just
another regular person.
Yeah, everybody that you can, you're trying to get in touch with, so that they understand the music that you're putting out and your project. And I DM'd Maffio, and he responded. And at the time, I was talking to some other people in the industry, some other producers, some labels, 2 labels actually, and they were giving me again, this is on the backs of a song that I had released that was like, for an independent artist with nothing, it was like doing something. And everybody was kind of giving me this like it's like, oh, like, loco, tú eres un duro, vamos a hacer algo, and then nothing would happen. And then the
Oh
label,
my God, I hate that.
and
I hate
all
that.
of that, like I was so used to, I had been used to that at that point for like 5 months, like having been in
Yo,
Miami.
preach, preach.
Um, and then Maffio responded, and we had dinner that night, and we
Damn,
just,
that same night?
yeah, no, and that was, it was, he was leaving the next day to go to
Oh,
Minnesota
good.
for Christmas, because he, you know, he and his wife, like they have a winter home in Minnesota. So we had dinner that night and we met, and it was great. It was awesome. But then, and then he was like, again, he's like, cuando vuelva a Minnesota, vamos a hacer algo, vamos. And I was like,
Oh
okay,
God, here we
whatever.
go.
But then, sure enough, Maffio and I, the first studio, so he invited me to the studio in January. In the first session, we recorded Azafata and Bruja. And then, like 2 weeks later, I had signed everything. Intercambio was recorded at that time. Like, all of this stuff happened then. So, like, all Maffio and I, like, we, you know, he really gave me the opportunity, and he gave me when he brought me to the studio, it was like, you're gonna prove yourself. You know what I mean? If like that, and fortunately, I did. I was very nervous.
I was gonna say, were you nervous?
But I was like, it was cool. I really also like Maffio and I both believe in that. Like, Maffio loves creating stuff from zero, like from scratch. I do too. That's the best way that I work, and I don't say that like pretentiously. You know what I mean? There's nothing against people that don't work that way, but that's like my flow. It's like, it's very improvisational, like the way that and Maffio's the same way. So it was cool because I'd only done that one time in my whole time as an independent artist, worked with somebody that did stuff from scratch. But we were able to do that, and there was just you know, something clicked between Maffio and I, and the sound that I was looking for was the sound that he was looking for, I think. So it was yeah, it was just a really good click, and since then, you know, I spent Thanksgiving with Maffio's family. Like, we, awesome. You know, we're very close, and
there's a real relationship there. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm very very happy to be with Maffio and the people that he has around him. We're very.
Shout out to people who keep their word and do what they say they're gonna do.
Yeah, for real. No, and it's hard, and I get it, because I've caught myself doing that to people. You know what I mean? Where I like say something that I'm not able to come through with because of not because I don't want to, just like circumstances come up, and then I'm, man, shit, like people used to do that to me. You know what I mean? People used to like, but yeah, Maffio was like with it from day one.
That's awesome. Now let's talk about your new single, Intercambio, with acapella. I saw the video and it was so dope. It had like a little bit of comedy, it had French, like it just felt very you. Did you partake in the creative process of the video?
Yeah, I did to an extent. You know, with these early videos, like it's Joshua Burgos. He's a director boricua. He's doing all the videos. He's so cool, such a good guy, he's young, you know what I mean? He's like hungry, like it's very cool to work with him. He did Buha, Intercambio. He's doing like the ones that are gonna come out in the future. Maffio did a ton of stuff behind the scenes. He's very, you know, Maffio's a perfectionist about everything, about music and videos, and so Maffio did a lot of the direction. But no, it was in their hands way more than it was in mine. But you know, they came together and I think found a vision that was that represented me and represented us doing the project super well.
And shout out to Jesse Terrero. I saw his little acting gig. That was so
Jesse Terrero, man, that
was also perfect.
Yeah, I mean, having, you know, when he recorded that little get puzzles, like, I thought like, or I thought like, oh, this may come out as in me and acapella, and then it's like, oh, guess who did that voice? Like, it was just, no, he was like in the video, on the song, like, and it's such an honor. Like, I respect so much of, you know, again, spending so much of my early life in the States, like there's so much of Jesse Terrero's work that I consumed, that even like in North Carolina, like I think he did the video for Raise Up by P.D. Pablo, the like North Carolina, come on and raise up, take a shit. Like
Mm-hmm.
that song, we played at all of our high school basketball games and all of our like, and it's crazy that you know, working with somebody that has had such an impact, not just on Latin music and not just on like the Dominican movement and like, but somebody that's had such an impact on music
Definitely.
at large and on hip hop at large.
Mhm.
And having him in my song like that is very, very cool.
Yes. I love it. So you've collabed with Acapella, Kiko el Crazy. Who's next on the list? Because I know you got some crazy stuff coming.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, come
There
on. Give
are,
us a little something,
no, we
something.
gotta. There's a song with Giancarlo Canela that we're gonna put out pretty soon. That super fun. It's a pop song. It's very different than everything I put out so far, but it's funny. It maintains a lot of the. I don't want to give it away, but there's like the way that the way that my verse enters.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people at first aren't gonna realize that I like think that it's funny, so they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's like an interesting line,"
Right.
without trying to be like, "Oh, that's funny." But it's like funny. I like it's like a funny. It's a serious song. You know what I mean? It's a great song. I love it, but it's funny. It's like it's playful. Like
Damn, now I'm dying to hear it.
you'll hear. I just remember that I'm talking about the first line of my verse in the song, and I hope that you will find it as funny as I do. But
Like, okay, this better be funny.
there's yeah, there's a lot of collabs that we have, you know, in the tank. I don't know necessarily when everything's coming out, but they're exciting. There's a lot of artists from Puerto Rico, artists from Venezuela. Yeah, it's exciting. There's some fun stuff on the way. But yeah, Giancarlo Canela, we got a song coming out pretty soon.
Awesome. And are we gonna get an album soon? I heard this year for sure.
I mean, that's the plan. That's what I've been told. I'm very excited to release everything, and no, I think this first body of work will be a good. Again, it's a reflection of like that first when Maffio and I first started making music, that sound, and I'm excited for all of that to be out, and then to keep creating and to be able to release what, you know, what that next step in like my artistic evolution will be, so that people can hear it.
Right. How do you want your fans and supporters to feel when they hear your music? When someone's listening to your music, how do you want them to feel?
I hope that people are able to, you know, it's danceable. It's like it's fun music, like everything that we have out now and everything that we're gonna be releasing right now. Like and I think on, you know, so many people are gonna be exposed to my music and they're never gonna know who sings it. They're just gonna hear it and be like, this is cool, this is fun. You know what I mean? I totally get that. The fans, the people that are like Calacote like stands, like I hope that they hear through my music that playfulness that I keep talking about, and that you know, there's a lot of artists. I think they fear talking about like the breaking the fourth wall of like, you know, music is fiction. Everybody's a character when they're a musician. It doesn't mean that you're not sincere in making your music, but it means that you come into yourself to record. You know what I mean? You come into yourself to write. And you know, I've said this a few times, like over the last few days. Like I didn't give Acapella any French girl. He did not give me any Venezuelan girl. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Like the playfulness of the song. And I hope that my fans and people that follow me and the people that are interested in me and my project, they see that they see that they're hearing me talk and they're hearing me sing, and they're receiving me through like social media and stuff, even though they understand, obviously, like Calacote is like es un personaje, but that's, you know, as in the same way that like Kiko's fans see the funny Instagram videos and see, you know, like the pink hair and everything, but then they also are like, this is like, you know, I like vibe with this guy. You know what I mean? I see this guy, and I hope that they understand that about me too. Is that when I'm trying to communicate through my music, aside from the music itself being enjoyable, is introducing myself, you know.
Right. People getting to know a little bit of you. I love that you're not afraid to take risks and to be yourself, and you're just like, here I am, this is who I am, this is what I do, enjoy it, have fun with it. And like you said, you're not afraid to be a little playful. I feel like the music industry sometimes is so hardcore, and you're just like, nah, let's have fun, man. Let's have fun. Everybody enjoy themselves. Well, what else can the fans and supporters expect in 2022?
We're just gonna keep putting out music. There's a lot of music on the way, you know. There's a lot of music that's ready, and no, we're gonna keep growing. Thankfully, everything so far has gone not just at like a really good pace, you know, success wise, but also a really comfortable pace.
Awesome.
For me as an artist, and I say that selfishly, it's like I was saying, like if I woke up tomorrow and my song was the biggest song in the world, it would be really uncomfortable and very hard to manage. Like, I can't imagine, like Olivia Rodrigo, I don't know how she was like didn't have a mental breakdown in public. Like I could not do that, you know what I mean? So I hope they keep growing, and I hope that my music is as successful as possible, and I'm not saying that I'm not, but I hope that
want it to be at a good pace.
Yeah, because again, my worst nightmare as like an anxious person is like waking up tomorrow and being on like being everywhere. That would be so scary.
No, I love that, and I respect that. You had said you were Dominican, so I want to put your Dominicanness to a test. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Chimi o fritura?
Fritura. Yo tuve una fritura. El otro día estuve con Alcover y Maffio y ¿qué más? Par de Domi más. Y nosotros pedimos una fritura, una fritanga nicaragüense. Que aquí se dice fritanga. Pero la fritura me encanta.
Fritura, okay.
I mean, you know, like anybody, I eat it and then I literally feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Right. Toda esa grasa.
In the moment, it's amazing.
It's amazing. Mangú o sancocho?
Sancocho is I love mangú. Sancocho is more like, it's so homey. You know what I mean? It's so, like, it's so
like rainy outside, nice cuddle weather.
It's a comfort food, you know. It's like a true comfort food, and just having, you know. I also just like soup in general. There's a French dish, pot au feu, which is like pot on fire, and it's the same thing. It's the same, you know, the same concept, right? It's just like comfort soups. So nice. Sancocho, so nice.
But sancocho, okay. Río o playa?
Playa, like gotta be like Sosúa, Puerto Plata, like the North Coast, like.
Okay.
Like Punta Cana is like, come on. I mean, Samaná is amazing. Samaná is also North Coast. Like
Samaná is really nice too.
It can't be like. When I say playa, I'm not talking about Bávaro. You know what I mean?
You're not talking about Boca Chica.
I'm not talking about Miami. Yeah, I'm not talking about Boca Chica for sure. But, yeah, okay. No, I love the oysters in Sosúa.
Okay. Bachata o merengue?
Bachata.
Tenemos bachatero.
Bachatero full. O sea, yo amo la bachata, amo like Frank Reyes, Anthony Santos, Luis Segura, el papá.
Pero tú lloras cuando escuchas una bachata que.
Like tú eras ajena, like that song. That song does something to me.
Yo.
Like, no, I love bachata. I love merengue, but it's totally like I feel like bachata moves me in a way that merengue is fun, but it's not the same.
Sometimes you just want to be sad and cry about a girl that never even broke your heart with the bachata. Yeah. Okay, this one right here, I want to know what you're gonna say. Que se vaya la luz o que no haya agua caliente.
Oh shit.
Which would you rather?
Que se vaya la luz. No. Wow.
Que vaya la luz o que no haya agua caliente.
There's like I mean, I guess in general I'd rather have electricity than water, right? Or like.
Well, you're gonna have cold water, just no va a haber agua caliente. Te va a tener que bañar con esa agua.
Entonces que no hay agua caliente, pero Eso es porque yo soy adicto a mi celular, yo soy adicto a, o sea, si no fuera por eso, agua caliente. Pero nada, yo necesito mi vaina para trabajar, yo necesito mi vaina para entretenerme.
Claro,
Por eso.
claro, claro. Bueno, Calacote, it's been a pleasure. I had so much
Pleasure.
fun with you. My Dominican long lost primo. Te voy a llevar
Yeah.
para la playa so we could get you a little
Yeah.
tan going on.
Do it. Yeah.
Listen, one last thing. Who is your dream collab with? If you can send
I
a
think
DM to somebody right now and they
yeah,
would answer
my
you.
like. So I mean I love Arcangel. I would love to. He's like an idol for me. I would love to work with him. I would love to work with Residente. I would love. So and I'm gonna answer this question in like the dreamest of dreams way, in a way that is not gonna happen. I don't think ever. And like
Don't say that.
Well, no. I would love to work with Calle 13, not just with Residente. I would love to work on a song where Visitante is producing and it's me and Residente, and it's like Calacote and Calle 13. That would be like, that's like, I'm like done. I don't need to do anything else. I'm like, I'm
retire in the art.
Yeah.
Listen, put it out in the universe. Let's make it happen. Let's definitely make it happen.
For sure.
Well, we're excited to see your career grow. We're excited to see you as a person grow. Tell everybody where they can follow you, where they can tune into your music.
@Calacote en todas las plataformas, menos Facebook. Calacote RD en Facebook. Somebody, when I made the Facebook page, somebody already had Calacote as a username. I know. And it's like, it's so weird because it's also, the page doesn't exist. So like somebody had it and deleted it. I hate it. But anyway, yeah, Calacote everywhere. Calacote RD en Facebook. Intercambio with Acapella, Gigi Rivera's out everywhere. Spotify, Deezer, Tidal, YouTube, Apple Music, wherever you listen to music, you can find me.
Absolutamente. It's been a pleasure. We wish you tons and tons of success. I'm going to be on the lookout for your album, okay?
Hey, I hope so. You got to tell me what you think.